3, 2, 1, let's go. What's up, Downtown Lowdown followers? This is episode 4 of our hit web series and podcast. Wait, it's not actually a podcast
yet.
Again,
we can say whatever we want.
Yeah,
Who's going to stop
us? The greatest show in the world. And I'm Jason Cassity. This is
David Spiewak.
And we are 2 real estate agents here in downtown San Diego, and we're bringing you a web series and show that talks about all things downtown San Diego, both real estate related, non-real estate related,
lifestyle-ish stuff,
bars, nightclubs, restaurants, all that type of jazz. And so thanks for tuning in for episode 4. So on this episode, the topic is actually going to be rental units across downtown. Here in the East Village especially, there's just walking around, you see like 7 cranes in the sky.
It's insane.
And they're pretty much all rental buildings. And so we want to cover that a little bit. But before we do, I noticed on your Facebook page yesterday or the last couple of days, you were on the real TV. You were on the news.
ABC Channel 10. Absolutely.
Channel 10. What was that about?
It was actually a very interesting story about Care.com and Zillow.com. We're going to major cities across country and just seeing, is it less expensive to live in the downtown core neighborhood, or is it less expensive to live in the burbs? Because there was this shift to the burbs back in the day, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You see in the last 10 to 15 years, people moving back into the city.
Yep.
And hasn't been really talked about lately what people are doing. Is it more in the burbs, or is it more in the city? What are families doing? And they did 30 of the top cities nationwide, and it found out in San Diego, we were one of the cities where the city downtown is actually more affordable to live in than in the burbs by around $5,000 a year.
Got it.
So just interesting stuff, especially with gas prices going up, downtown being walkable. You don't really have to drive anywhere. Everything, you're self-sufficient within a few blocks of where you live.
So hold on. So now is that for a family, or is that for is it more expensive for me to live in downtown? Or are you talking about for like a family of 4? Because I think I saw in the article they were talking about like child care and cost of that stuff.
Yeah, it was more, not so much of a family of 4, but just maybe, young professionals with kids or even without. But childcare was one of the biggest proponents that they said it's a little more expensive in the burbs. But just property taxes and stuff like that, less expensive downtown, which kind of makes sense because single family homes values are rising. We're running out of land. There's nowhere else to build. And when that happens, prices go up regardless, just because inventory, demand, it's, basic economy, economics hand in hand.
That makes sense. So you got some FaceTime on ABC 10.
Yeah, a good 5 to 6, 7 seconds, not bad. They got my good side, thank you guys.
Thanks, ABC 10. That's 5 to 6 to 7 seconds more than I got, so you're doing big things right now.
Truth.
This guy does four episodes of the Downtown Lowdown, and now he's a superstar on ABC 10. So catch that. If it hasn't already aired, it'll be on his Facebook page as well, I'm sure. So the actual topic of this show, of episode 4, is based on an article that I read in the Union Tribune about a month ago. It says, and I'll link it up below because I know you can't see this, but San Diego average rent up to $1,887 a month. So $1,887 a month, breaking records. Will it last? And so that actually takes into consideration the whole county of San Diego, I believe. Yeah, San Diego County hit a record for 1887. But that's inflated a lot by downtown San Diego, because the average rent, I believe in downtown San Diego, it says is $2,400.
Sounds about right.
Which, it's somewhere in the article. It says about 24. Oh, there you go. Excited, but with most downtown expecting to charge an average rent of $2,489, and that's including the newer buildings. But that's huge. That's a huge number.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so just looking around, I did a quick right just here in the East Village, and I have Alexson, Park 12, Pinnacle, Second Tower, Shift, Broadstone, Makers Quarter, F12, Ideal 1, and then the UCSD where the courtyard used to be. That'll be a rental building on there as well as the campus expansion.
Yeah,
so that's 1,
absolutely.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new rental buildings that are under construction right now just in the East Village, not including the new Bosa Tower, the new
they broke ground already. Foundations already been dug, and I think they're starting to go up.
They're probably I think that's like 600 units. That's like a massive building. The Ray's going to have a second tower. There's already the Urbanas and the Lofts at 707 and all these type of things. Is this sustainable? Is this number? Are all 8, 9, 10 of these buildings going to be able to get $2,500 a month for an average?
I don't know. If the consumer in me says, hell no, how could that possibly be sustainable and go up? And you see these new buildings doing yoga studios, pet retreats, state-of-the-art gyms. is that something people really want or need where they live?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't do yoga. I probably should. A little yoga and meditation. I'm high strung sometimes, but I see a lot of times you're excited for amenities and it sounds good, but in reality, do you really use them all the time?
Right.
Would you rather pay $2,000 a month and just have an apartment complex?
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably want to pay less
Yeah.
and not get too many amenities. I kind of like going out when I'm going out to the gym or going out to do stuff instead of being self-sustained inside of where I live. It's nice to be out and about again, especially downtown where you can just walk to many places.
Yeah, I agree. Why do you think that they're all rental buildings being built? I mean, because for the most part, other than Savina and Pacific Gate, which we've covered in previous episodes, there's no new condo buildings being built right now. There's a couple slated at Civic San Diego for approval, but for right now, it's all rental buildings. Why are developers not building condos?
I think it's just less expensive. I think it's easier to get a construction loan for some reason when it's rental instead of owner occupied. I think there's also the 10-year mark where developers just don't want to be sued and the building go into litigation. So I'm hoping buildings like Strata on 10th and Market, which is gorgeous right next to where we are, convert soon since their 10-year mark should be coming up in months.
It's probably got to be passed.
I would say I've lived in my place. I moved into my place in January of 09, and that's when they broke ground.
Got it.
So, you know, I'd say, 2019, they should start thinking about it. It's a gorgeous building with great amenities, and even 10 years old, still feels fresh, new, and modern. And that would be a great spot to add more condos to the East Village and, get prices,
and that's
moving around here.
Last time we had a condo conversion was Aloft. So that was an Oliver McMillan rental building, and then they sold to a third party or whatever, and then they sold them out. And so that was probably 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
That was up in Cortez Hill, where we had an influx of, I think it was like 200 new condos to the market over the course of a couple of years. But nothing's been built since then, really, besides the new luxury high-rise stuff. So yeah, I'd be interested to see then if developers are just building rentals with the thought process of getting it up to 96% lease and selling off, or if they're just going to hold them for 10 years and then sell them off.
Or what about Vantage Point? Vantage Point should be up to 10-year mark now. I mean, it opened up
as condos.
Correct, and then just opened up wrong time and had to give people their money back, their deposits back, and convert it into rentals.
They were up to like 25% sold, and then they stalled, and then so they ended up having to give the deposits back and made it a rental building for the last 10 years. But then theoretically, they could actually condo convert. Would you buy a condo at Vantage Point? I guess it'd be price.
Probably. It depends on price. I know you lived up there before. I'm used to the East Village and being able to just walk out, and I know they're developing and getting out there. I just think. No offense, a little too boring for me.
Really? I didn't mind it. It was all right. It was just far enough to where it was quiet, but I could easily walk to work because it was about a 10-minute walk. But like if my wife was in heels, we would Uber. Like it was just too far to like walk everywhere.
Yeah.
But it was doable, for a daily type thing if I was just walking to work. But
right. But you don't get a lot of the riffraff up there, and it is quieter, and you're close to the 5 and the 163.
Oh, super convenient for
access
nice. To the freeway. That was very nice. So. It'd be interesting to see if any of these condo buildings or rental buildings stay rentals, because like again, Bosa's gonna that'll be his first rental building, but then do one of these condo convert sooner than actually opening up. I don't know if maybe one of the Pinnacle Towers or maybe one of the Broadstone Makers Quarter is probably always going to be rentals. Alliant, they're all rental buildings, but I'll be interested to see if anybody actually converts over and does condos or just sticks as rentals. Like you said, the 10-year thing, that matters.
It's a big deal. I mean, I'm not a developer, but I can imagine if I could not get sued, I would go the not getting sued route.
For what, if for the uninformed on that, basically what happens is when a developer builds a building, a condo building, and sells them off, the homeowners then have a 10-year statute of limitations where they can go back after that developer for normal wear and tear items or things that need to get replaced, and that causes condo buildings to go into what we call litigation, which is just a couple-year process where they fight over who has to pay for those repairs. But if it's a rental building, that doesn't happen. No. So basically, what I think Jonathan Siegel is kind of famous for it is he'll build a building, have it be rentals for 10 years, and then right at the 10-year mark or just after, he'll then convert them over to sell, and then he doesn't have to worry about condo litigation.
Right, the HOA coming after them, because I think you have 10 years from when the developer hands over the building to the HOA.
Yep, and then to get that statute of limitations in for construction defects. So yeah, just to avoid that completely. Now I feel like they have like insurance on that too, so they probably don't care. But if they can avoid it, why not? Especially if they can get at least up to 98%, and then that's just money coming in to fund the next project or something.
No, absolutely. So if any developers are out there watching watching this, please help us help you make some money. Let's turn these into condos. People need a place to live. People want to buy $2,500 a month for rent or a couple $100 more to own. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'd spend $200 more a month to call something my own instead of renting something that you know is going to be $2,700 a month for 30 years. It's not going to go up. You know, maybe it'll go down if interest rates go down and you refi, but it's not going to go up. You see a lot of people out there being like, I talked to friends of ours that are like, man, my landlord just said he's upping my rent $200 just to get it to current, you know, market rates, just because stories like this show owners, hey, I can jack up the price because if you're not going to pay, someone else will.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to be the case anymore now that there's going to be 2,000 plus you know, new rental units hitting the market. I wonder if they'll be able to actually still command that type of rent.
Who knows? I mean, I just showed you those micro studios, which are new, 188 square feet to 355 square feet on the corner of 13th and J. They're asking $19.75 to $21.75, zero parking.
Yeah, so hold on, talk about that, because you mentioned that, and it's next to Park Boulevard East, which is the building that you live in.
Correct.
There's a new potential project that I hadn't even heard of, and I feel like I'm tapped into most of the stuff coming down the pipe, but it's because it's not rental, lease, or sales, it's low-income housing.
Well, so it's called Isabel. I'm not even going to tell you what we call it, but it rhymes with Isabel.
Jezebel?
Well, that sounded more like Jez, but we went the sexier version. So it's an 8-story building that it seems like they're cramming into a 4,200 square foot lot above a historic home. 48 units, 6 low income, wipes out any need for parking, so they say, because 6 spots qualifies for parking release, so 0 parking. And these are 200 square foot studios too, and he said rents are going to be $1,400, which is still a lot because people own cars. You know, it's just the fact of the matter. I drive less than 10,000 miles a year. Again, living downtown, I drive to the office, I show property. I still need a place to park my car. I would love to think, you know, without a car I can get places, but under an hour, absolutely not. It would take you forever, or you're just going to be Ubering everywhere. So I just don't see cars going out anytime soon, and it's upsetting to me because these people are taxpayers that have really done nothing wrong, and I understand everyone needs a place to live, but it feels bad that people that have, you know, called this place home, and they could afford a place over their head and afford East Village and whatever, but they shouldn't be handicapped because they're, you know, middle class and you just want to build a building 15 feet away and offer no parking when parking's already an issue. It's like we're trying to fix one issue with doors, front doors for people to call home, creating another with no parking anywhere.
48 units, no parking spaces. That's going to overflow into the streets around that neighborhood, which are already crammed, especially during games and things like that. But there's going to be, you know, 42 more cars that are going to be parked on those city blocks around there.
And that doesn't even include those micro units I talked about next door to that, which is around 84 units. So we're looking at, you know, I think the total number is 134, 135. You know, we go to the city meetings, everyone's like, it's great, low income and more housing. No one takes into account the aesthetics or the quality of life that it affects other people. Or the fact that not having like a place to park your car is a big deal, and at $1,300, $1,400 a month in rent for 200 square feet, you gotta make around $60,000. And if you're making $60,000, I'm gonna think you're gonna have a car.
Maybe we do have another show about this, but 188 square foot micro apartment
for almost $2,000. I think the room we're in, if you can see,
this is probably about 100 square feet right here, so twice this. I couldn't even. How do you have a kitchenette or anything like that? I don't even know if that's possible. Another show, we'll talk about it.
Sure, but, stay tuned. I have a lot to say.
Anyways, thanks for checking in episode 4 of the Downtown Lowdown. I'm Jason Cassity. This is David Spiewak. You can find David online.
You can find me
in St. Louis.
Right. You know, Google me. No, I'm kidding. You can find me on Facebook, David Spiewak, Sell San Diego on Facebook, at David Spiewak, Twitter, David Spiewak _realtor, Instagram. Kind of luck out, Jason Cassity is probably more of a common name. I think there's only 2 other Dave Spiewaks in the country. Just look for the best looking one. Yeah, there you go. I have, you can find me on the same places, Jason Cassity, Cassity. There's a country singer, IDY, and he's got like all the Spotify and SoundCloud accounts and stuff. He's trying to rival me for front page of Google, but I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't know. I hope so. Anyways, episode 4, thanks for tuning in. All right, thank you guys. Till next time.